Welcome to Be Smart Together. I mainly focus on Power Query and Excel. If you're new, please subscribe and turn on the notification. Also, feel free to drop a comment to give feedback, ask questions, or let me know if there are any topics you're interested in. Today, I want to explain a super powerful function in Power Query, the List.Generate function. List.Generate is one of the best options when performing a row-by-row transformation with conditions. If you're familiar with coding, while loop is the equivalent that the function will keep going as long as the condition is true. I will explain the function through several examples. Before we started, let us go through the syntax, as a good understanding of the syntax is very important. There are 4 arguments, 3 mandatory and 1 optional. The first argument starts with a function operator, followed by the initial position. The initial can be a number, a list, or a record. The second argument is a conditional statement, returning either true or false. The function will keep on running as long as the condition is true. The next argument will be initiated when the condition from the second argument is true. This means if the second argument is true, then do A, B, C, etc. The last one is an optional argument, known as a selector. You can treat this argument as an extension of the third argument. It will be the output if you adopt this optional argument instead of the third one. Let's use the example from the Microsoft website for our first example. Copy the example, go to the Power Query editor, and then paste the code to the formula bar. The sample code returned a list of numbers. It started with the number 10 and decremented by 1 until it reached 0. This table explains what the code does. The first argument is 10, the starting number. The condition is each number is greater than 0. Look at the second column, which explains how it works. When it reaches 0, the test result is false, as 0 is not greater than 0, so the function will stop. This example excluded the optional argument, so the third argument is the action and output. The starting point is 10. The function will go through row by row and test the condition. If the condition is true, the starting point number will be subtracted by 1 at the accumulated basis. It is known as a counter or accumulator. Let's update the starting point number from 10 to 0, then update the -1 in the third argument to +2. It returned nothing, as the condition returned false where the starting number 0 is not greater than 0. Now update the condition to less than 10. The result is a list starting from 0, incrementing by 2 and stopping when the condition is false. If you update the condition to greater and equal to 0, you will get an infinite list. Because the condition will always be true, so you need to be careful with the condition. Let's move to our second example. Go to the Microsoft website, copy the second example, return to the Power Query editor, and paste the code into the formula bar. The starting point for this example is a record with 2 fields, and that's 2 columns equivalent. Add a custom step, return to the source step, copy the highlighted formula in the first argument, go to the custom step, and paste the code to the formula bar. The 2 fields are X and Y. X has value 1, and Y has an empty list as starting point. Go to the source. This example uses up the 4th argument, and the output is X. Update the output X to Y. Preview each list. You should see the list is incrementing. The number on the list is increment by 1. So, how it works? Look at the third argument. The X is to count the list, whereas Y is combining the empty list with X as a list. This is how the list got increment. Revert it to X, and I want to show you the third example. Use List.Generate to create a list of dates. Add a custom step. Name the custom step, Start Date. In the formula bar, type in the 1st of January 2023. Add a custom step and name it Today's Date. We want to use the DateTime LocalNow function to get the live date. The datetime_local_now function returned the date and time, but we only need the date. Use the date_from function as highlighted, converting the date and time to date only. Add a custom step and name it List.Date. Clear the default code and type in List.Generate. Start with the function operator. The starting point is the start date, but we need the number from function to convert the date to a number. Always start with the keyword each for the second, third, and fourth arguments. The condition is each date must be before today's date. Again, start with the keyword each. If the condition is true, we want to add one day. The list of dates is in the number format. We can use the date_from function in the fourth argument to convert the number to date. This is how we create a list of dates with the List.Generate function. Let's move on to our last example. In the last example, we have a list of products with price and brand. Say we want to group the data by brand. You would typically use the group by function to group the data by brand. Undo the group by step. I want to replicate the group by function with List.Generate for educational purposes. Add a custom step to get a list of brands. The list of brands contains repeated brands. Use the list_distinct function to remove duplication. Rename the custom step to list brand. Add a custom step and name it group. Clear the default code and type in the List.Generate function. Start with the function operator, and the starting number is 0. The condition is that the accumulator or counter is less than the number of brands. If the condition is true, we want to add 1 to the counter. Here is the key. Add the list of brands as highlighted. We want to use the table select rows function to conditionally select the rows. The source step is the table, and the condition is the brand is equal to the brand from the lists during the iteration. You will get error results. Add the curly braces as highlighted, converting the brand and table into lists. The ampersand is to combine those lists. Let's do a random check. Add a custom step, and name it grouped rows. Use the table_from records function to convert the list of records into a table. The second argument allows you to name the column. You can go through each table and validate the transformation. The data is grouped by the brand as per expectation. The List.Generate function is very powerful. What went through in this video are some basic examples. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find this video helpful. Please don't forget to click like if you like the video.